Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and as we get started, we do have some big news for you that we do want to share. KREM 2 News at Noon is now going to be an hour long, so here's what you need to know. At 12:30, KREM 2 News will continue live on KSKN 22 and continue streaming on KREM 2 Plus. So if you're watching us on KREM 2, you'll want to make sure you switch over, again, coming up at 12:30. All right, in the meantime, we got to get down to business, and a big story today, of course, weather, because we are really starting to see those beautiful bright colors, Thomas, and everyone wants to know what's in store for us this week.
Yeah, well, the fall colors are at their peak right now and should stay that way this entire week. I'll have that map coming up for you a bit later on here at our hour-long noon show now. It looks like today is just going to be a very even keel, but a much calmer October day. Sunshine has come out, at least a little bit behind me, some fair weather cumulus clouds overhead from our outdoor weather center. Still a bit cool, but the sun feels nice. The shade is a little bit on the cool side. 48 degrees, the current temperature in Spokane, and 46 in Coeur d'Alene. That in the shade, feeling a little bit better in the sun. Speaking of which, it's kind of a mix of some clouds and sunshine. Looks like it's sunnier to the south, a little bit cloudier to the north. In fact, Doppler radar seen just a little trickling of some showers. I think this is mostly going to be mountain showers, if anything, today. I won't rule out a sprinkle or a stray rainfall in our northern areas, but it is looking incredibly minimal overall. I'm not going to add that necessarily to the 7-day forecast today, just because of how sparse that will be at most. Really, our next big weather system is this weekend, and that is way wetter than average. While the finer details may still be to be determined, the overall weather pattern is looking incredibly rainy now for the second, maybe third weekend in a row here. So I'll give you the latest details of what we know right now on what is going to be our next storm system at the very tail end of the week.
Thomas, thank you. A massive internet outage has impacted dozens of companies today. Amazon Web Services says it was caused by issues to its cloud service operations. The company worked throughout the night to try and restore websites like Hulu, Venmo, Snapchat, and Ring. Savannah Welch is tracking the impact of this outage.
Throughout the morning, thousands of people have been reporting issues on platforms and apps affected by this outage. The company said the operational issue that caused the outage has been fully mitigated, but the company still hasn't said exactly what caused it. Amazon, though, says teams have been working quickly to get things back up and running and to get service restored. Many of the companies that were impacted have their systems online, but others are still seeing delays. The outage affected dozens of companies, hitting everything from streaming services and airline systems to banks, government websites, and food delivery apps. Social media users reported problems with cloud-based games like Roblox and Fortnite. Also, crypto exchange Coinbase confirmed many users couldn't access their accounts. Even though some airline systems like United and Delta were impacted by this outage, there are no major delays or cancellations reported at SeaTac this morning. This also is not the first time AWS has seen widespread outages like this. There were previous disruptions in 2020, 2021, and 2023 as well that forced multiple sites, platforms, websites all down for several hours. In Seattle, Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
Today, the man arrested in connection with last weekend's deadly shooting on Spokane's Lower South Hill is scheduled to appear in court. Spokane police arrested 32-year-old Andre Moore, saying he allegedly shot and killed 38-year-old Derek Schaefer. Officers say they used surveillance video and witness testimony to find Moore. This is developing in Idaho here at the noon hour. We are getting some new details after federal agents raided a horse racing arena just west of Boise over the weekend. The raid was part of an ongoing investigation into an alleged illegal gambling operation. The FBI says it arrested 4 people, while witnesses say many others were detained by ICE. Detainees went through processing where they were asked to show if they had documentation. It is not known how many are still detained.
That Idaho State Police is picking them up, calling our partners at the federal government and ICE, and having them deported back to their country of origin.
Idaho Governor Brad Little is sharing some more information about his Operation No Return program. Under this program, the state is bringing, quote, dangerous illegal aliens to ICE detention facilities. The The program is funded through the governor's emergency fund, and it targets violent offenders and serious criminals. So on Friday, the governor's office sent out a list with the names and charges of those people currently serving time. The governor's office says all of them were in the United States illegally and will be deported to their country of origin after completing their sentences. Israel says its ceasefire with Hamas is still indeed on today following its first serious test over the weekend. Israeli forces they stopped aid again and accused Hamas of killing 2 soldiers. Hamas denied responsibility.
I don't believe it was the leadership. They had some rebellion in there among themselves, and they killed some people, a lot of people. But this is a violent group.
Today, Israel says the ceasefire is back on and that aid trucks are being allowed back into Gaza. And with the government shutdown now extending into its 3rd week, senators are gearing up for another vote that would either extend the shutdown or bring it to an end. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has the very latest on the shutdown and how lawmakers here in Washington state are responding.
Yeah, well, today marks the current government shutdown as the 3rd longest in U.S. history. This afternoon at 2:30, the Senate will reconvene for an 11th vote that will ultimately bring the shutdown to an end or extend it for at least another day. Both Democrats and Republicans blaming the other side for why the shutdown has lasted this long, along with other Democrats in the Senate. Washington Senator Patty Murray says she's working to ensure tax breaks for 24 million Americans who buy insurance through the Affordable Care Act. Last week, the senator saying, quote, President Trump and Republican lawmakers have been desperate to ignore the fact that healthcare premiums are about to skyrocket for millions of Americans, all because of their own refusal to act. Republicans and the president say they're open to considering a fix for the expiring ACA tax breaks, but want the issue addressed separately. When speaking to local media, Congressman Michael Baumgartner said in part, obviously, healthcare is a major part of what we spend the government's budget on. There's always time for discussions, but we're not going to do it as part of a quid pro quo for ending a government shutdown. So as of now, more than 750,000 federal workers have been furloughed because of this shutdown. Now in the newsroom, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.